I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
And this
could be a podcast. Podcast. You're welcome.
Because it's not some grand cabal. I mean, the term conspiracy theories came about after the wake of the JFK assassination to discredit people that had an alternative view of what actually happened.
Sure.
And that's a really interesting example in history of people that were there and they're like, no. I heard shots over there. That's where I did. Yeah. And honestly, because the Zapruder film existed, that's the only real reason why there's credence for an alternative version of the narrative.
Sure.
If the Zapruder film didn't exist, it would all be hearsay. That's all it would be.
Yeah.
But because, and that's what what was the prosecutor?
Barry Bonds.
No, and it wasn't Barry Bonds, but close. Anyway, the prosecutor, he recently passed away.
Are you talking about Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner's character, yeah, in JFK. But that was part of his whole argument was that we have the Zapruder film here to prove that like physics are in play here. Like he could not react that way to a bullet from that direction that we're saying that the shooter was at. Anyway.
Yeah.
If that didn't exist, it'd be much easier to sweep everything under the carpet. Because again, look at the Martin Luther King assassination. Like, there's no video of that. I mean, everyone just believes.
Oh yeah.
But there were a lot of assassinations in the late '60s, early '70s.
Sure.
In America.
You could say the same thing about like the 50 years before that, though. I mean,
of assassinations.
Yeah.
Or?
I mean, between Lincoln to McKinley. I mean, there was a stretch of assassinations as well.
Right.
I mean, it's just things get hot sometimes.
But not everything is.
Sometimes it's jazz band and swing dance. Mm-hmm. Other times it's assassinations of political figures.
Right. But not everything. I mean, I think when you're looking at the assassinations of the late '60s and early '70s of John F. Kennedy,
right.
Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King, you're looking at situations where there's far more. There's a bigger political cog going on than there were back in James Garfield, Abraham Lincoln.
Sure. I mean, sure. That being said, I mean, like the Robert Kennedy assassination
that's a weird one.
It's not that weird.
It's a really weird one.
No, man. I mean,
have you listened to any of Sirhan in his?
I mean, he's a wackadoodle. I mean, is that what you mean? Or?
I mean, I guess it's into the court of public opinion whether he's a wackadoodle or not, or if he was really just a Manchurian candidate who, or if he really even did the shooting. I mean, honestly, I forget. I think it was on Netflix. I think there was a Netflix documentary that really broke it down well, but to this day, he still doesn't recall shooting him. And again, I don't know him personally. I do live.
Oh, you don't?
I do live under the guise of, if I don't know you personally, I'm not going to defend you, which is why I don't believe in any political party or anything like that.
Sure.
Or politicians as human beings at all, unless I know them personally.
I mean, listen.
They're all pieces of shit.
All politicians, anybody who desires to run for office is a pure narcissist.
Piece of shit.
Well, I'm not gonna go for a piece of shit.
No, you're not gonna go that far.
No, I'm not gonna go that far. But I'm gonna say anybody who says I can do a better job is a pure narcissist, and I'm saying that only because, hey, if I thought about running for office,
as a pure narcissist, you've had that thought.
Of course. I mean, somebody who was a sophomore.
We've talked about it.
As someone who is sophomore class president and president of the FFA. And student council president at different points in time. The idea that, I can do a better job. That's a weird thing for people to say. That's a weird thing for anybody to say, well, I can do a better job at this. I should be in charge.
This is where you and I, with our inability, and it's not like a common ground we need to come across. It's just that we need to...
Fuck you.
No. It's just you need to...
Fuck you and your common ground.
You explain these things to me, and I'm like, Yeah, and so you don't believe in this XYZ conspiracy theory or this thing like that.
We're going back there.
Like,
okay.
I mean, it's one of those things like you understand this the political landscape
Yeah.
that people are getting themselves into. And what? Hold on, wait, just give me a second,
Okay, go ahead.
Because when you get into that realm, you're brought into that back room, whatever that is. We're not privy to it. We don't know it, but we can see that, like, we can both agree that it takes an incredible narcissist to run for a political office.
Sure.
And then once that person's in office, if their narcissism isn't deterred at all, then all they're doing is doing everything for themselves or doing anything to stay alive, stay afloat.
Yeah.
So the incentive, because I think one of your big pushbacks to me being a conspiracy theorist is that how do you get people to like be toe in step? How do you get people to play along this entire time? One of the big things that you could do is have a bunch of information on people.
Sure.
Or just even threaten someone's identity, threaten their very brand and being. And that's what politicians attract. They attract the people that are like, I am a narcissist, first off. Like,
Sure.
you just boil it down to that. And if I can hold anything against you, I can take away everything. I can take away all. I mean, like House of Cards did a great job of fictionally showing a very non-fictional storytelling of politics and how it actually plays out. It's a lot of backroom deals. It's a lot of preserving self-interest. It's a lot of all that stuff. So even if it's not as nefarious as you want to like go.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's how things can happen. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with these John Brennan notes that are coming out. These John Brennan.
I have no idea who John Brennan is.
The former FBI director.
Oh God, no.
So apparently it was just declassified, and that he wrote down Hillary Clinton's plot to basically not defame but discredit Donald Trump with a Russian plot, and it was a handwritten note delivered to Obama. Like. This is like 4 years in the making.
Sure. I mean, I don't.
I'll look it up here just to make sure, so we're not talking out of our ass here. But anyway.
Here's my thing about conspiracy theories, and for the most part, like, is that I do not trust the United States government to tell me absolutely everything. I know for 100% certainty that the United States government is not being 100% transparent. I get that, and I accept that. I know that there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to my government, and I don't like that. Mm-hmm. Some of it I do like. Some of it I do understand that we don't need to. If we know how close we are to the brink of war or absolute calamity, that's probably good that.
But these are things where
we're not.
If we're connecting dots, if we're playing the game of connecting dots, it's not hard to connect the dots when you have the right players in place. Sure. That's the thing where when look, if you had great people that were pure of heart and sound body and mind running for political office and not being corrupted, I could understand your there's no way they would ever do that. But we're talking about the lowest of low of dog shit human beings that are doing this and that have been doing it for a long time. You get a calloused soul when you're a politician. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi at some point in time was a decent human being. I'll just believe that.
I mean,
regardless of what side you're on. I mean, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. But like listening to Nancy Pelosi, she seems like a very politicized person. Like
that interview with her and Wolf Blitzer, man, that was fucking rough.
She's a rough human being.
That was fucking rough.
But that's a calloused human being of being being an over politicianized person.
My thing is
that's a word.
Here's my.
Is over politicianized a word?
I don't think so. I mean, you can coin that if you want. Mark it in your books, children. When you go home and you write in your diaries.
Over politicianized.
Over politicianized, i.e. ... Bobby Schramm said it on this day on a podcast about. I'm not even following. So no, okay. So my thing, we'll get into this.
Yeah, we're gonna get into. Yeah, I pulled it up.
You did.
I got two sources.
Okay, So my thing is, I'm not worried about the 30 people, the 30 or 40 high-end people who make it work, and their 2 or 3 underlings. Okay? So we're like at 90 people. I'm talking about conspiracies that are much more wide-ranging. I'm jumping forward here to things like 9/11 and the moon landing and the assassination of JFK.
Okay.
Things that would involve a lot of people, right?
Well,
okay.
My A, B, and C of go-tos. Okay.
Also, you need to understand that human beings look for patterns, okay? You're talking about connecting the dots, so is constellations. Constellations, I'm trying to connect dots in the night sky, even though they're billions of miles away and billions of miles away from each other. I'm still connecting dots. Just because...
I will push back a little bit saying I'm not looking to connect dots. I'm analyzing the information given.
Sure.
But anyway, but I see what you're saying.
Follow-
Because on some level it is connecting dots, but it's...
We can follow the money.
It's not just... this happened and then this happened, therefore this happened.
Right.
Okay? It's not writing a fictional story.
Yeah.
It's trying to figure out what a non-fictional narrative actually is playing out.
Okay. I'm not saying that...
So when we have things...
I'm not saying there's not conspiracies within the United States government, because clearly there are. Clearly the CIA withholds a lot of information and probably does things that they should not be doing. That's 100% true. Now, is it
all government, all branches of the government? That's what these Brennan documents really show, is that there's an internal struggle between the CIA and the FBI and every other branch of government of basically legitimizing themselves in not only the public eye but in the government's eye. Like, are you familiar with the 6-week cycle? Are you familiar with that?
No, that's not a phrase I've heard before. No.
All right, so the 6-week cycle is basically where the FBI and CIA, to a lesser degree, basically has to create a reason for existence, and it happened a lot more during like the Obama presidency and the Bush presidency before then. But basically, it was every 6 weeks there would be this running.
You have to show results.
There'd be this thing like, oh, we set, we found this domestic terrorist and everything like that, and to justify budgets, to justify getting money for everything and everything like that.
Sure.
And if you're looking back, it's pretty damning. It was a pretty consistent 6-week cycle where they would do. It would just be some idiot online that would get busted, basically being set up, everything like that. He would be on the wrong websites. It's just like anything else when you get into the dark web.
Okay.
You can get.
All right. Can we
Anyway.
all right, let's stop for a second. All right.
Okay.
I want to test your theory.
Gotcha.
Okay. Real quick.
Gotcha.
Is there an FBI PR page of all their news releases, all their PR releases? Anything that they're sending out not a memo, what's the word? A press release for important things.
Are they giving? I mean,
is there an FBI
like
press release page? There is. I know there is.
I'm just going to go right to the source here. I'll go FBI
press release.
No, I'll just go 6-week cycle.
Why
not?
Because then we're getting into stuff.
Oh, okay. Here we got Reddit. 6-week cycle continues. Okay, so
from the trenches, worldreport.com.
We're gonna go back to. So.
This does not look like.
So let's review the previous hoax events which the FBI has either been involved or staging or investigating.
Nope.
What are you talking about? Nope. You can't just say nope based on hyperlinks that you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't okay, what are they linking to?
So they're going in chronological order. They're going the Washington Navy Yard shooting hoax, Los Angeles airport shooting hoax, Wichita airport bomb threat hoax, and Columbia, Maryland mall shooting hoax. Okay, so these are hyperlinks we haven't clicked at. We have no idea about, by the way.
No, I'm looking at them. And they're Wikipedia articles. What I'm saying right now.
No. What we're looking at, whether the events are credible or not, because that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Sure.
We're talking about the legitimacy of an organization being justified by having these events happen.
Right.
So just boil it down to that. Boil it down
Yeah.
to, if I need to prove my existence, prove my value and worth
Yeah.
to my employer, which would be the United States government.
Okay.
Okay. I have zero regulations, zero oversight as to how I'm operating, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't listen. Hold on. I know you're not listening.
I'm
You're
listening.
not listening.
I'm listening.
I know you're not listening. Okay. But I'm an organization like the FBI where
Right.
I know that no one's overlooking me. There's no supervising.
Let's say minimal. Let's just say minimal.
What is the supervising branch of the FBI?
That is the Attorney General.
So one person
I mean,
and their team.
the DOJ is probably an organization of probably 400 some.
So their day-to-day I'm
that's
saying
like-
their day-to-day operations.
That's like
'cause
full
they
on.
haven't been
That's
told.
full on prosecutors. As far as support staff, I have no clue.
Right.
I want to say there's.
But can we
probably,
agree
like-
that it's pretty highly unlikely that their day-to-day activities are monitored to an extensive level?
who, the DOJ?
No, the
Or-
FBI. And the DOJ's ability to do that. I mean, on the converse other side, it'd be a really hard stretch to imagine that the DOJ and all their support staff and all their prosecutors and all their oversight committees and everything like that would be able to follow the FBI solely. Not to account for the CIA, which both organizations have been like, you can't look at us. Actually,
I don't
Hold on,
remember
wait.
who- I don't remember who
They
owns-
can't look at us because it's a matter of national security. Like this is an issue of national security. You cannot look at us.
Yeah.
Right. You cannot look into this situation because it's ongoing, and you don't. If you do it, you'll fuck it all up. I mean, that happens, right?
There's supposed to be oversight. I mean, and there's also oversight.
In an ongoing investigation.
There's also oversight through the Senate and also the House.
Not on a day-to-day. Not
on a day-to-day basis. No. You're
It's very much like your political promises going into your political career.
Yeah.
You can say all you want about whatever the fuck you want, but really, when the day-to-day comes, like you really can't do much. So the FBI operating Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And you're like, what did you do today? No one's doing that.
No, I mean, of the tens of thousands of people that work for the FBI, there's not a single person from Congress who's watching Gerald to make sure that he's not breaking the United States Constitution.
And because there's not someone watching Gerald, that means there's...
But who's watching? I mean, who's watching Gerald? I mean, the guy who's watching Gerald.
No one's watching Gerald until Gerald does something so egregiously wrong that they have to look at him.
Yeah.
Most often, and that's what I'm saying.
I mean, who's watching police officers?
These are independent departments. These are independent departments under the umbrella of the government, not even parts of the government, not constitutionally assigned parts of the government.
Yeah, there's no FBI or CIA inside the United States Constitution.
Correct. So you have these branches of government that are operating, and I forget at what period of time that the FBI was basically on the ropes. Like, or I mean, maybe it might have been the CIA. It might have been after World War II. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
CIA wasn't created until
because they were they were the
Bay of Pigs. After Bay of Pigs, that's when.
CIA
was like the beginning. Bay of Pigs was the beginning of the CIA.
Yeah, correct, but they were known as something else.
What was the CIA before
the SOS? I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like the
something like that. Selective Service Unit or Foreign Intelligence Service.
The Central Intelligence Agency was created in July 26, 1947, when Harry S. Truman signed the National Security Act into law. A major impetus for the creation of the agency was growing tensions with USSR following the end of World War II. Good God. Oh, okay. The OSS. That's what it is.
Okay.
This led to the creation. Okay, so the success of the British commandos during World War II prompted U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to authorize the creation of an intelligence service modeled after the British Secret Service or Secret Intelligence Service, M16.
Yep,
Or MI6.
MI6.
That's what it is, MI6, yep. and the Special Operations Executive. This led to the creation of the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, established by Presidential Military Order issued by President Roosevelt on June 13th, 1942. On September 20th...
Holy shit, when did Roosevelt die?
Like 1993.
Oh.
I'm fucking around.
Oh.
He seemed to live forever.
Right.
With Parkinson's. Anyway, so it started off on September 20th, 1945, shortly after the end of World War II. Harry S. Truman signed an executive order dissolving the OSS, and by October 1945, its functions had been divided between the Departments of State and War. The division lasted only a few months. The first public mention of the Central Intelligence Agency appeared on a command restructuring proposal presented by Jim Forrestal and Arthur Radlord of the United States Senate Military Affairs Committee at the end of 1945. Despite opposition from the military establishment, the United States Department of State, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Truman established the National Intelligence Agency in January 1946. Its operational extension was known as the Central Intelligence Group, the CIG, which was the direct predecessor for the CIA. So,
interesting.
But also, Harry S. Truman is the one that gave the famous speech about the military-industrial complex. And
that was Eisenhower.
Oh, it was Eisenhower. Oh, I'm sorry. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Harry S. Truman was the piece of shit from Missouri.
He's not a piece of shit.
He kind of was.
Oh, why? Just because he dropped a couple of bombs? When I say a couple of bombs,
he was kind of a chicken hawk.
Yeah,
he was kind of a chicken hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you are right. I do apologize. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wrong to me.
Truman's he's a weird character.
He is a weird character. He had a massive inferiority complex with being short and being not a brute of a man.
Also, not coming from hoity-toity.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
He was dirt poor. He was one of those dirt poor guys.
Yeah, he was.
It's really, I remember when it was that. That was a documentary. That was American Presidents thing I watched about Truman. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, Bobby, I'm going to give you this.
Okay.
The United States government is not 100% transparent. Okay.
Okay, cool. That's a victory. That's a feather in my cap.
No, hold on.
I'll take a feather.
I walked in with that in my cap.
I'll take that.
No, that's not your feather.
Well, you said, Bobby, I'll give you this.
I'll give you that. However,
but that's the feather in my cap. That's what I'm looking for.
I did say that. You're right.
Yeah.
However, I think that I don't like.
It doesn't take much to make a conspiracy happen. It doesn't take much to make a nefarious thing happen.
We're talking 30 guys. We're talking like 30 guys.
Well, we're going to go back here. Let's go back to these John Brennan.
No. Okay. Can we, before we get too far? Okay. I want to put your 6-week thing to the test.
My 6-week cycle?
Your 6 weeks. Now, your website, which gave...
This is the first one, by the way. This is just the first site we went to. There was multiple sites.
Right. Now, that being said, I think that, somebody selecting...
Hold on. I'm going to say there's 6weekcycle.com, your guide at the FBI/CIA false flags. I haven't clicked on it yet. But before you go on, I want this bullet in my chamber before you put everything, okay?
I want to see the FBI's. Can we pull up with the FBI? Press releases.
They're already listening.
No, the press go FBI press release.
Okay.
That's what I want to see. Cuz according to you, I should be able to squint kind of hard and see this chain, right?
Within a week. I don't know what the FBI's website. I don't know if it's going to have a documented, archived website of their press releases.
Here it is. I'm telling you, they've got a PR wing just like everybody else. Look at this. Okay, so you find me the.
There's not a lot of days in between these press releases.
No, they're releasing multiple a day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So find one where you're like, this is it. We would count this as the beginning of a 6-week cycle.
Okay.
Fine. Give me one.
Let's go.
Wire fraud.
I was going to say wire fraud. Former assistant director of Massac County EMA charged with mail and wire fraud. Let's go. Oklahoma man convicted of child sex trafficking. That's October 8th of 2020.
Okay. That's
a thing.
what I'm saying, Bobby, is there's a lot of things happening in the world. And the FBI is a very large organization. Now, if we can sift through these press releases, right?
Correct. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I want you to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As far as there's also the FBI having to determine their own worth, basically.
Right.
By, like, if the world is peaceful, the FBI goes away. That was a whole thing with the CIA and the FBI.
Sure.
If the world is at peace, we have no need for these organizations. So think of yourself. In that situation.
Yeah.
Where you say, oh, fuck, well, I guess there's just peace in the Middle East. I guess I guess we solved it. No, guys, we have nothing to report. And like, oh, cool. Well, you don't need as much funding as you did last year. So, cool. All right. Have a good time. Here's 50% less budget.
All right.
No, acknowledge what I'm saying.
I'm listening to what you're saying, and I understand.
Put yourself into that situation, though.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't hire people.
They wouldn't so they just make shit up. Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
I've got it. I've got our.
I'm not discrediting that these are real things.
I've got our bombshell. I got our bombshell that should be on this press release.
Okay.
Okay, and it is the Michigan governor. Where's the press release?
Yeah. What about the Michigan governor being
threatened with
6 arrests of federal charges of conspiracy to kidnap.
Okay. So
that's your start.
That's it. That's okay. All right. So let's go back 6 weeks from there. So hold on. Let me bring up a calendar. Bobby, calendar.
I'm right here. You don't have to yell. Okay.
Okay.
But this so October 8th is when those.
October 8th is when that came out. So first, that's 1 week. 24th to 17th, 3, 10th, 4, September 3rd, 5. The week of August 24th, week of August 23rd through the 29th.
Okay. All right. We'll put it to the test.
I want to find the bombshell within that week. Right?
What were the parameters? Obvious. What were the parameters again?
The 23rd through the 29th.
23rd through the 29th, okay.
Of August.
We're not out of September, by the way.
No, we're not out of September. Because look, they're releasing.
Yeah, they really want to justify. 23rd through the 29th. Hold on, wait. We're going to get all the way to the start here. We're at the 27th right
27th?
now.
So you want to start at the 23rd?
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to do this.
Remind me of the bombshell. Okay, we're in the 21st. Got to get past the weekend.
Apparently, the 21st through the 24th, nothing happened. Nothing happened from the August 22nd to the 23rd.
I don't remember what was going on.
All right. Okay.
And another bombshell, though, right? We're looking for.
What's your definition of bombshell, by the way?
I don't know.
A lot of shit,
giant national news, right? That's what we're talking about. Okay. To sway public opinion.
This is going to be really. And not that I think we're not going to find one. I know it's a double negative, but we're also dealing with the world of COVID right now.
Sure,
so this is a lot of it's going to get swept under the rug because it's not nearly as. There's another element of the news,
right?
Like
I'm seeing press releases.
But hold on, the only reason why the Michigan kidnapping governor story was big,
huge political,
it's because it's entirely political. Right. That's all it is. And so, a lot of this stuff in late October.
But according to the website we were looking for before, like In the Trenches, World Report, I should be looking for things like fake hijackings and mall shootings.
Well, what I'm saying though is like, okay, we're going to look at this really diplomatically. Okay, let's look at this like both ends. Okay, because let's read through these as entertainingly as we can to say. No, because some of them are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then also, like, is this big enough to count as a 6 week cycle? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think of that as I'm looking at this one here. Texas professor and NASA researcher arrested on charges related to China's talent program. That's okay.
That sounds kind of familiar, but
I have no idea what China's talent program is. Do you know what that is?
So this was a thing where China. I mean, it's basically. I'm familiar with China paying for people's college educations to be a part of this.
Okay.
And this guy, this is what like led to the shutdown of the not the ambassador. What's it called? The embassy in Houston.
Okay.
Like that got shut down, and also, I'm trying to remember. There was some other thing. This was a weird trade dispute thing.
From what I can gather from initially reading it, it's that there's influence in his teaching based on Chinese money. From what I can.
Oh, is that this? Oh.
A criminal complaint has been unsealed, charging a 53-year-old college station man for conspiracy, making false statements, and wire fraud. Texas A&M University professor Zhangdong Sheng. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I don't know.
That's not true.
Right? How would you say it?
I don't even know.
Zhangdong Sheng is expected to make his initial appearance. Well, but I mean,
yeah,
okay.
no,
his
you're
initial appearance before U.S. Magistrate Judge Sam Sheldon. That's how you say that name.
No,
today at 2 p.m. in Houston, authorities took him into custody. Sunday, August 23rd. Shang is allegedly led a team conducting research for NASA. According to a criminal complaint, for several years he willfully took steps to obscure his affiliations and collaborations with a Chinese university and at least one Chinese-owned company.
Yeah.
The terms of Zhang's grant prohibited participation, collaboration, or coordination with China, any Chinese-owned company, or any Chinese university, according to the charges. Quote, China is building an economy and academic institutions with bricks stolen from others all around the world.
Yeah.
Unquote, said U.S. Attorney Ryan K. Patrick, while 1.4 million foreign researchers and academics are here in the U.S. for the right reasons. The Chinese Talents Program exploits our open and free universities. These conflicts must be disclosed and will hold those accountable when such conflict violates the law. So
bombshell.
I'm not saying it's a bombshell. I'm looking at.
It's interesting.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm looking through. We're looking through what.
Yeah.
Basically, we're coming up with a barometer. We're coming up with a litmus test, basically.
Sure.
There's a lot of shit thrown at the wall.
No, I guess I don't remember. Is this part of the? When was that? When were the embassies shut down? There was a shutdown of a consulate. Chinese consulate,
time, right?
Right? I don't remember. Okay, I mean we're talking. Okay, attempting to rob a liquor store, carjacking, malware, Albuquerque man's first appearance in federal court.
Can we agree on this one thing here to start?
Yeah, I'm listening.
That basically terrorism would be the barometer that we're looking for. Like if we can.
I'm looking for a major national news story. And I mean, listen, the closure of a Chinese embassy is part of that, right? That would be part of that, right? Healthcare fraud scheme, methamphetamine distribution. Let's see here. Material support to ISIS, but that's a
wait. No, we have ISIS. We have ISIS.
No, that's a sentencing. That's a sentencing.
We have ISIS. We have
one
ISIS.
more down.
Where, right here?
Yeah, 90. Yep. But that's a sentencing. That's outside of outside of the federal. I mean, that's outside of it.
It's not nothing. I'll look over it for right now. But it's
armed robbery, arson, blackmail, child pornography.
The amount of child pornography that we're seeing is
Well, that's their bread and butter. Also, bank robberies as well.
That's what I'm fucking saying, Nathan. Is
What?
that there's a bread and butter. There's a bread and butter.
No, like, as
There's
far as, like-
there's a quota. Like it's much like on the local
Oh,
police.
sure. Yeah, bank robberies. That's what they go after because that's most
To justify their existence,
Yeah.
they go to these things so that they can say, if drugs were not illegal,
sure.
they would have nothing to be like, oh, we didn't arrest this person on methamphetamine charges or
Yeah.
whatever like that.
Bank robbery.
The amount of look at this. I mean, the amount. Cayuga
Cayuga
County man charged with receipt of child pornography and possession of a firearm
Armed
by
robbery.
a felon.
Yeah.
That's a weird sentence I've never thought I'd say in my life, but
Oh,
there's a lot to unpack from that.
the only thing that's really like made it a weird sentence was Cayuga. Do you have a weird?
No, because it's a Cayuga County man charged with receipt of child pornography and possession of a firearm
By a felon.
by a felon.
That guy was a felon. He had a handgun that he shouldn't have.
No,
And
I think
also-
he
and then
received that stuff
No,
from
oh
a felon.
no. I think it's the and. Go ahead. Click on it.
We're going to click on it.
This is America. I love looking through press releases from the FBI.
Okay, this is a situation where, so Richard J. Potter Jr., age 55, of Springport, New York, was arrested today on charges of receipt of child pornography and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Okay, so he received it from a convicted felon.
Huh. What? No.
I don't know why that adds more to it, but I don't know if it adds more to the sentence. But
No,
that's,
he received no. Potter used a computer to receive images. That's the problem. He received images of child pornography from the internet and stored thousands of digital copies of those images. Potter is also alleged to be in possession of a 12-gauge shotgun following a previous felony conviction. So
why does by a convicted felon come into play? Why is that coming?
Because you can't own a firearm as a felon. If you
so it's a previous charge within himself.
he's already been
It's a grammatically incorrect way of
there.
saying.
There's a comma.
There needs to be a comma.
There needs to be a comma in there, but there's not a lot of commas in press releases.
There's a lot of commas in this press release, by the way.
Well, in the press release, but not in the heading. So
It's making it seem like there's another felon that's not actually.
No.
Or that's actually doing something wrong. Like it's
yeah.
illegal for a felon not only to give those things to
But
another
also
person,
to give-
but it's also worse if that felon gives them to somebody else.
right, you cannot.
Like if you're a first-time offender giving a child pornography and firearms to a person,
To give
like,
s-
there's some leeway that we can work around.
There's a lot of leeway with.
But
your
if you're a
first-time
convicted
offense.
felon, there's zero leeway. And then
Right.
that's it. You
Listen.
received it from a felon.
A felonious charge will fuck your life up. That's just the only way I'm saying. Anyhow, not earth shaking, not part of the 6-week cycle.
No. But and again, I will go back. It's not a hard and true thing.
Yeah.
But
Well-
and we're dealing in unprecedented times. Okay, we're dealing with a news cycle.
I'm not,
that it's you. Can you agree that it's been incredibly hard to break anything in the news cycle?
It's so hard.
Other than
and that's why
COVID
we're
and
going
Trump.
directly to the source, right?
Yeah, we are.
And they're releasing
This is why
like
this podcast is
10 like a day, 20 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's from every single fucking department.
And I don't think we're going to find a national news story. I think
then
we're
that breaks. That's
But-
only one, right?
we're looking
They
at
took
we're
they took
looking
one
at this
six
time.
they
and
took
it's-
1 6-week period off.
Yeah, we're looking at this one
They
particular.
took one 6-week period off.
We're looking at this one
Okay.
incredible time that we're living in.
Okay, let's jump back. Well, no, hold on. Let's finish this
We're
week.
gonna finish it up. I mean,
Let's finish this week period off and tell me. I know once again,
but we all agree though that apparently the plot to kidnap the Michigan governor.
that's huge. That's news.
That's news only because of the election though. Only otherwise, if this were to happen back in August, that wouldn't be that big of a fucking deal. Are we agreeing on that, or is that?
I think it makes a bigger case for her being an incredibly hard lockdown governor who is Democratic. I think that's a big.
Well,
those
there's
are,
other aspects in the sheriff actually did say this, that, again, they're innocent until proven guilty. I don't know much about it. What I have heard is only from what the sheriff has said.
Yeah.
Is that in Michigan, if you are guilty of a felony,
Yeah.
citizens have the right to make an arrest without question.
Sure.
So that was the angle he was looking at that from his quotes.
Oh, interesting.
So basically, whatever they thought that she was guilty of, if they thought that it fell under the guise of a felony assault or felony charge,
of the governor.
that
Right.
they could make a citizen's arrest. And if that's what again, like, I don't know much about it. I'm just going by what the sheriff has said.
I am 100%. Not 100%. I am 95% uninformed of all the ins and outs
Of Michigan state law.
of this case.
Yeah.
Like I know I cannot defend anything of anybody's actions. I cannot land on one side or the other of that case particular.
Only from what I've heard of the governor saying things is that, I mean, again, it's not it's from his point of view, it's not assumed that they were just going to kidnap her. Like,
Sure.
And I guess I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't want to defend people I don't know.
Right.
Goes back to that whole thing. But I do believe the only reason why this is being sensationalized and part of my explanation for the 6-week cycle is there departments of the FBI that want to prop up these people that will do stupid things based on a slight push in the right direction in order to justify, again, encouraging chaos to ensure your relevancy in the
relevant.
world.
My thing.
I think that exists. I don't think that's hard to believe when you look at politics.
The one thing I would say with this case, with the governor's case, is that it wasn't like, oh, hey, I mean, this happened like in August. I mean, this happened in like when they got the actual full on evidence and like before. Okay, so
proving my point a little bit.
I mean, it's like they sat on it for a while.
Yeah, but
before
why?
I don't know. That's not. But
it has nothing to do with the election, right?
I'm not saying that at all. Well, I'm not saying that at all. But there is something there, right? So I think that even proves your point, right? Okay, so that proves your point that they released this at a very specific time, right? Yeah. To fit within that 6-week cycle, right? That means they believe in that 6-week cycle. They are they're willing to sit on information about the kidnapping and arresting of a political operative. I mean, of a political figure. So that means, they released it at that 6-week time, right? So that means that they would do the same thing 6 weeks earlier, right?
No, because what we're not taking into account is the credibility of the actual account, the actual threat. No. Hold on, just give me a second, because the credibility of the actual kidnapping, I think, is in question of whether it was ever real or not.
We don't care. We don't care though, because we're talking about hoaxes, right?
Yeah, but if I release that they want to kidnap the governor of Michigan in August, versus October, those are two different stories. And those
we're trying to work within the 6-week parameters, right?
You know, you're getting caught up in that 6-week cycle. You're getting caught up in that versus the distribution of information, basically. Like, it's more valuable to release that information right now,
right?
Because it affects the election. I mean, it's like 4 years ago, and this is in 2020 and 2016 versus every other year that's not an election year.
Yeah,
you probably have a different.
You
probably have a more consistent 6-week cycle.
The 6-week cycle, we throw it out 2 months within an election.
No.
I'm trying to figure out the rationale here.
It's kind of like reading a defense in football, I guess. Like, you can know what the team's going to do, or you know what the strong points of the team that you're playing against is, but they're going to throw a wrinkle into the defense for sure.
Should we be looking at 2 weeks from that? Or
I think you're really getting hung up on the
No, hold on, no.
literal 6 weeks of everything going on. In a normal year, in a normal non-election year,
Okay.
you'll see a pretty good pattern of just
Okay, scroll to the bottom here. Okay.
okay.
Can we go find a bombshell from 8 years ago? Then
What bombshell would you like to find?
I don't know. I don't
It
know.
takes a while. I mean, everything's based
It's by
on
hundreds.
Yeah, it's by hundreds. It's
There's
going to take a long fucking time.
47,000.
I can do more research and come up.
Okay. My point
But
is,
again, a lot of this shit, I'm just trying to say here, like, a lot of this stuff is really bad that you don't, like, Middlesbrough man sentenced for 188 months for attempted production of child pornography.
yeah.
That's really fucking bad. That probably should have been news or like.
But national news. That's the thing.
I think, first off, based on the amount of sex trafficking and child pornography press releases the FBI has, I do think
they're honing in on that.
think sex trafficking and child pornography are a huge issue in this country that most people don't fucking realize, and it's because things like when Jeffrey Epstein came out, like that's what that was. That was about child. That was about sex trafficking. There's this open secret that goes on in many major industries in this world, and I would say even looking at this little snippet here of probably 15 to 20 press releases, I would
scroll
say,
down like 3 notches and it'd be all one day.
Okay, so from the 25th,
Yeah.
August 25th. Here's August 25th. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, still 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
7. Sorry, just reading through everything. 7, make sure everything's right. So 7 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Please
7.
cut all
8.
of this out. Nobody cares.
So 36. So 7 of 36.
7 of 36. That's about 20%. That's a little bit more than 20%. Now, if you want to make the conspiracy theory that the FBI is focused
25%.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's 25%. 25% of August 25th press releases had to deal with sex trafficking and child pornography.
If you want to make
from the FBI.
So that feeds into QAnon's stuff, right? I haven't
followed much of QAnon.
Well, no, we're talking about Pizzagate.
I would love.
This is a pizza,
no.
Well,
it's not a Pizzagate thing. It's no, it's not.
This is Save the Children.
QAnon is
Save the
thousands
children.
of sealed indictments. Okay, that's what QAnon is. Pizzagate is its own thing, and there's damning evidence for the owner of Pizzagate. Or the owner of the pizza place that existed in Washington D.C.
Sure,
that's a whole thing you want to unpack if you really want to look into it. I don't have my PowerPoint set up to show you everything. So therefore, it's just my word versus yours or whatever credible internet thing. But I don't know if you've looked at his Instagram feed, but it's not good.
QAnon's?
It doesn't.
Oh no.
No. The owner of whatever the fucking pizza place was.
Know.
It's not good.
But
Have
are
you
you
looked
showing?
at it?
Are you showing up with a handgun to save the children from a child sex cult?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm
not a true patriot though.
That's it.
That's what it is.
That's
I'm not
it.
a true patriot. But I'm saying, have you ever pulled up his Instagram and looked at it?
No. Why would I?
It's really disturbing.
I don't go on Instagram to begin with.
The only reason I did was because.
Is that why you joined Instagram? No.
Because you can look at things without joining, but it's damning and it doesn't look good. And there's a lot of things where you're like, oh, I can totally see why people would be like, oh, there's probably some shady shit going on here.
Yeah.
But why in the
hold on,
why in the
blood
WikiLeaks
ritual?
Why in the WikiLeaks declassified Hillary Clinton emails. Did Obama order like 1,000 hot dogs and like 1,500 pizzas and everything like that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
At all.
Exactly. You have no idea what I'm talking about. But I implore you, please go look that up.
Go look at how many hot dogs Obama purchased.
Looked up, like he ordered, like
I'm gonna look
in an email.
Next time I see Obama, I'm gonna look him dead in the eye and say, "What?"
Are you familiar with Larry Sinclair? I just found out about this today.
I'm gonna look you dead in the eye and I'm gonna say, "How many hot dogs you buy, Obama?"
How many hot dogs you buy, Obama?
Obama, how many hot dogs you buy?
I've never heard about this today though. But like,
go ahead.
Are you familiar with Larry Sinclair? I've never fucking heard.
Does
of
he have
guy.
a hook for a hand, or is that somebody else?
Not that I know. I've never seen a picture of him.
Okay, so he might have a hook for a hand.
He might, but his claim to fame is that he had multiple sexual encounters with Obama.
Oh,
I've never heard of this guy before, and then it just came out in a memoir book.
I'm gonna go and say he's got a hook for a hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's look him up. Hold on.
we're going deep in this.
We still got to get back to these John Brennan.
Oh,
These are fucking it's fucking crazy. Highly political. This could be a podcast.
who knew?
Hey, this is what's happening. We can't see his hand, so we don't know.
Yeah, that left hand is clearly in his pocket, so he might have a
Man
hook for a
who
hand.
claims he had sex with Obama is running for mayor. Yeah, we can't see his hands.
I mean, no, that one.
His
Hands in his pocket. That could be a hook.
Yep. Oh wait, there's a limousine photo. Hold on.
Oh, well, that's a Photoshop for days.
Right.
That's a Photoshop for days.
That's it. But it's
a
good
bad
one.
Photoshop
It's a good
for
one,
days.
though. It's a good one.
Oh no, that's not good.
No, I mean it's.
I can
it's
tell
funny.
by
It's
tell
funny.
by the pixels.
It's funny.
Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, so you do believe in conspiracies? No?
I just remember that was a really great song.
You know why it's funny, right?
Why is that?
Because they're the Antichrist.
Yeah.
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 And they're like lizard people.
Yeah.
And they don't sweat, apparently.
Oh.
That was the whole thing. Like Obama's Secret Service people, like said he never sweat because they're lizard people. Are you familiar with the lizard people conspiracy theory? We're really getting into the conspiracies.
I don't like. I mean, I understand like the concept of lizard people, like people like living in the center of the earth or something. But I want to say I've seen Obama sweat.
So there's.
Can you just Google Google, not DuckDuckGo, because DuckDuckGo is gonna hide the truth.
No, I'm not going to do what you
lizard
want.
people.
I'm not.
Obama.
Reptilian conspiracy theory. Boom.
Yeah.
Reptilians are purported reptilian humanoids that play a prominent role in fantasy science fiction, ufology, and conspiracy theories. The idea of reptilians was popularized by David Icke. You familiar with David Icke?
I mean, I only had him for dinner once,
Jesus
and he's like,
Christ.
"Do you have any salt?" And I'm like, "Well, you can fuck
conspiracy
off."
theorist who claims shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political power to manipulate human
And
societies.
Obama was one of them.
Icke has stated on multiple occasions that many world leaders are or are possessed by so-called reptilians. I didn't know David Icke came up with this idea.
Here's the deal. This is what I want for a movie.
Okay.
I want a super dry political just movie, just like day-to-day operations of Obama as a lizard person. Like, I mean, hey guys, what are we doing today? Hey, can you go ahead and just push this through? Why am I doing this? I mean, do you understand how much pressure I'm under as a lizard person?
It sounds like a really good movie.
Right? You're not laughing enough.
No, it's not funny.
No, but it's like super dry.
Yeah.
Super dry as a lizard person.
You want him just to admit, hide in plain sight.
No, but he.
I mean, that's what they do. I mean, not lizard people.
Maybe
but
this is a bit. This is a bit where
yeah,
where he just pulls up his secret communication. Is like, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
I want you to do this. but it's like every other like normal political thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
You need to transfer funds from this to this.
The FBI needs to show its worth for. They have 2 weeks to prove that they're actually viable organization within the.
I mean, I
within the
can't just
government.
push those funds over though. You
You can if you have a shell corporation.
Hold
Think
on.
about it, Obama.
We did that. We did that 2 weeks ago though.
Do it again.
So, I can't like. We can't.
The
just-
public will never look at you this way. You are the hope and change they were looking for.
Do I have to do a dancing gif before?
It's pronounced Jif, you fucking dick. What's your thoughts on GIF versus GIF? I know we're going to make a hard.
It's a hard turn.
Hard turn.
It's
We've been really
it's-
political.
It's
so-
yeah. Well, it's not political. We're not being political. Political is talking about like the.
No, I mean our opinions are not being shared,
No.
but we're just talking politics. But anyway,
I don't think
let's
we're
get into the-
I don't think we're talking politics.
we're talking about lizard people and the 6-week cycle, so we're definitely talking about politics. What's your opinion though on GIF versus GIF?
It's GIF. It's GIF. That's it.
What's your rationale? Because I agree with you.
That's how you pronounce a G.
That's thank you.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
There's no other way around it.
Thank you.
I know that yes, the original,
The person
Why-
that created
why?
it,
but it stands for graphic. Was it graphic
graphic image.
factoid? I don't know.
No, well, look it up here just to make sure.
But yeah, it's GIF. It's not.
It's
GIF.
absolutely GIF.
I mean, why? Like, no, it's GIF.
Graphic.
Interchange format.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Here,
It's like and the only rationale I hear for why it's pronounced GIF is that the person that came up with it wanted it to be pronounced GIF.
GIF.
And I'm like, well, then he's an idiot.
Yeah. Then don't make it stand for graphic.
Then don't have a peanut butter that's been named GIF for longer than you've been alive.
You're right. But with
And
the
I can
J.
be like, how do you pronounce this?
But also there's a G versus a J.
Yeah, there's a whole like we were talking earlier off podcast.
Don't get me started on diphthongs.
If I were to hand you a wrapped present and say, "Here you go," I'm giving you a gift, and I would remove the T,
Yeah.
what would you pronounce it?
GIF. Oh fuck!
Because you want to be a dick.
I'm being a dick. Yeah.
Anyway.
How about this?
But it's wrong. It's wrong, and it pisses me off when I hear people say GIF.
The word M-E.
Me?
Huh? M-E.
Oh, meme.
Meme.
Yeah,
In my head, I pronounced that meme.
meme.
Meme
Yeah.
for so long.
And I get that. I get that. It's a weird thing where when I hear someone say GIF, they're assuming they're right by saying something wrong.
Sure.
Where I'm like, wait a second. No, that's not how you say
Did
that.
you see that GIF the other day?
Yeah, no, I saw that GIF.
I
the
can't
other
believe
day.
I can't believe Brendan posted that on the Slack channel like that.
Right. It really ruined our Zoom call.
I was like, "What are you doing, coming at me with that post-patriarchal
But a
nonsense?"
meme, I can understand.
Meme.
Yeah, I can understand like your like revolutionary. No, it's called meme.
Meme.
Because that's what it's actually
Also,
spelled at.
like-
There's no N in
No.
meme.
No, meme. No.
I mean, if we were going to phonetically spell meme, how would you spell meme?
M-E-E-M.
Meme.
There's no N.
But that's how people pronounce it. Meme.
No, but people say meme.
Meme.
Meme. Meme.
There's not an A at the end.
No.
I'll agree with you.
You're
with
hearing
the
a
N.
lot. You're hearing a lot of nasal. Meme. Meme. You check out that cool meme I did of President Obama
Say
as a lizard
enema.
person.
Say enema.
As an asshole or
Just say enema.
enema?
Okay. Meme.
Meme.
Ma.
Meme.
Enema.
Enema.
Yeah. There's
God,
an
we got
E.
some real gold going on here.
I know. This is good. Thank you guys for listening. Meme. I think if you wanted to be meme, it'd be MEEMA. It really do.
I had a problem one time. I even like had a problem with this. I did this one time. I remember mispronounced this word in a drive-through. I don't remember. I was like being like
Frosty?
No, I said, it's me just being all hyperbole. Yeah, that's
Hyperbole?
too much. That's too much hyperbole.
Hyperbole. That's the word you were.
A hyperbole.
Yeah, you were going hyperbole.
I'm sorry, I'm being too hyperbolic, but no, I didn't say that. I said
hyperbole.
This is too hyperbole.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's like, do you mean hyperbole? And I'm like, fuck, you're giving me food, Mr. Drive-Through Man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not saying not talking shit about people who work at a drive-through.
No,
but they shouldn't be correcting my pronunciation of words. But
it's a tricky word.
Hyperbolic, right? The word's hyperbolic.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not hyperbole?
Because the English language is really fucked up.
It's a real mess.
It's a real mess of a language. But hyperbole is one of those words that sounds like there's many more syllables at play than are actually at play.
Right.
You know?
Right.
People use it a lot, like especially in our generation.
Sure. I mean,
hyperbole is in play a lot.
Right.
When we're
because it's the absolute worst thing ever.
And it's the best thing I've ever fucking tasted or ever seen or ever did. Blah, 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 blah. It's whatever this grandiose thing of like, yeah, sometimes shit just is okay. You know, sometimes things are okay. And that's fine.
It's
like
fine.
we went
fine.
My wife and I, we went to dinner and,
where'd you go?
The other night we went to a local restaurant eatery and it was basically we were at a bar, to start the night.
Did anybody have a hook for a hand?
Not that I could see.
Okay.
But I'll get to that. So we were at a bar and we were just having a nice night and we're like, should we just stay here and eat dinner or should we go to the nice place to eat dinner? And we're like, and my wife wanted like, let's go, you know, let's go to the nice place to eat dinner. I'm like, all right, cool, fine. So we go to the nice place to eat dinner and we get there and then we order and it was this whole thing of like, oh, should I get this thing? I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but it's expensive. I don't know. Like, should we try it? Like, yeah.
That's a tough.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Live on the edge. Just do it. Yeah, it's fine. Get what you want, basically.
Believe in yourself. That's what I do.
Believe in yourself. Yeah, you want 95% of the things that are describing this entree. And
shallots.
And she didn't like the pork chop. Basically, it was a pork chop covered in a bunch of things, and she didn't like the pork chop.
Yeah.
And so it became this thing of like, should we have stayed at the restaurant or the bar basically and gotten just bar food and everything with that and known what you got versus going to a place and trying something and basically believing in the hype, you know. But
yeah, I get that.
You know, and we went out the next couple nights later and had a rejuvenating dinner experience and everything like that. But
and the guy had a hook for a hand.
Our waiter did not have a hook for a hand, no.
But you wish he did, though.
All the time.
One time I had a weird dream where
hard segue. Okay.
Right. No, like where I, for some reason, had my arm amputated and it was replaced by a leg of a goat.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, you know, okay, you know, it went well. The surgery went well. But now, I mean, you can shave the goat hair off. And eventually, once we feel comfortable that the surgery took, we can replace that. We can put a hook on your hand if you want. But
okay,
it was a weird dream where I had a goat arm. I had a goat leg for an arm.
No, people love hearing about other people's dreams. Please keep telling.
Anyhow,
as I look up amputation dream meaning, please.
Yeah, what's the oh.
This dream can be quite frightening and shows that you have or will encounter some type of loss that is important to take action so you can prevent it. When you dream of losing one of your limbs, parentheses, arms or legs, it means that you are worried about losing something that is important to you, and you are concerned about something not working out. So when did you have this dream?
It was right before Valentine's. It was Valentine's Day.
Of this year?
No, this like 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
So what were
7
you worried
years ago.
about?
I don't. I
No, come on.
No,
Give yourself to the podcast.
No, I really have no
Nathan.
idea.
Nathan.
How
No,
much do you buy into dreams as
you're-
like meaning?
Yeah. I mean, not 1,000%.
Not prophetic. Do you see them as prophetic things?
I think dreams can have meanings that, when really they're not predictive as they are reflective. When
Sure,
when you can remember them and look back on them and then see them. And a lot of them, it's in the moment, which is why they mean so much. Like why certain dreams like stand out versus other dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when you wake up, when you have a weird dream that like sticks with you, or like you go back to bed and you still have that dream, you go back into that dream. I think those dreams stand out more. I think it's a weird thing that humans go through that we don't acknowledge, that we all go to sleep. First off,
It's weird.
We go
That's
to
weird.
sleep,
That's a
and
weird
we
thing.
all basically hallucinate in our own separate individual way.
Yeah.
And we're just like, yeah, that's what happens. And then some people, can you put too much emphasis on it? Sure, absolutely.
Right.
Can you put not enough emphasis on it? Absolutely. Is there a world in between that's probably more accurate and more, adept? Sure. But I think when you have a dream and you're honest with yourself and you're in that right moment, you can really analyze it in a way that's makes sense retrospectively.
Sure.
So
Okay.
that's what I want you. That's when I say, like, when you talk about this dream of you being amputated, and it is right around Valentine's Day.
Oh no. Yeah.
I feel you're dismissing it too quickly. I don't feel like you're like, I want you to shut up and listen and hear
if
it.
this was
Think about it.
if
Think
this was
about
something that happened 3 days ago,
it. No.
if this was something that happened 3 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
I would be totally on board with you. But
Okay.
this was like years and years ago, and the only reason
Go back to that time. Can you go back to that time?
No, absolutely not. The only thing I
Why
remember,
not?
I made a Facebook post about it. Right.
Okay.
Okay. And at the end of it, because it was Valentine's Day, I just said Happy Valentine's Day, as I described me
Mm-hmm.
getting a goat arm for, and
Okay.
for comedic relief, I put it in.
No, I want to have therapy session with Nathan here.
Oh,
Go back.
Well,
Go back 5 years ago.
I
Come on.
don't even know if it was 5 years ago, man. I couldn't tell you a specific.
How many kids
year.
did you have?
I could not tell you that.
Bullshit.
No, that's 100%,
Bullshit.
100% true. Because I don't remember.
Really?
I don't like.
I love pulling the shit out. Like, have you ever heard this whole thing with
Yeah.
mommy and daddy fighting? Have you ever heard most people are
Yeah.
uncomfortable with confrontation, with
Oh
argument,
yeah. Yeah.
because they don't want to hear their parents fighting.
Oh.
They're so uncomfortable, and most people haven't
Sure.
experienced that. But then there's the people that have experienced their parents fighting, and that it's not a fucking issue,
That I mean, my wife and I, we fight in front of our children,
right?
and we do. It is a problem when people go through and they experience, oh my God, the first time they have a fight with their their spouse
Mm-hmm.
or their girlfriend or whatever it is, and the first time they ever have that encounter with real conflict.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, this is it.
You've exposed your kids to this. Or...
The marriage is over. The relationship's over.
Right.
We're done.
Are you talking
We're done.
about outside of kids at all? Or
Yeah, I'm
you're
saying
just
outside of
talking
kids.
anytime you have a blow up fight.
If you've never experienced, if you haven't seen your parents have an argument,
Right.
it's like then you go and you have your own relationship, and then you have a big blow up fight.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately go to, it's fucking over.
It's
we're,
over.
We're done.
Right.
It's over. I do remember as a child, there was one time, I don't know what was going on, but my mom and dad having a fight and we were on the way to church, and it's 10 miles. It's 10 miles between our house and church.
Yep.
And they're sitting there. They're fighting. And halfway, so 5 miles, pull the car over. We're done.
Yep.
This is it. And he pulled over. Mom got out of the car and started walking.
Walking away.
I'm walking home. And my mom's not like, someone who's going to be walking 5 miles.
Yeah.
And I remember, oh, geez. Okay, all right.
Was it the first time you saw your parents fight, or
Like,
was it
really? Like, I mean.
Yeah. So it was jarring.
It was jarring. And so we were on our way to
How
church.
many kids were in the car?
Probably.
Did you have kids? Some of your brothers were out of the house.
Yeah. So it was probably only the younger three.
Okay.
It was probably just the younger.
But it was
three.
like a pin drop in silence.
It was awful. And I remember going to church and just praying. Oh my God, I hope my parents
stay together.
I don't want to get a divorce. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is, and they didn't. And they eventually.
So your dad drove off.
No, like he said there.
Did your mom go to church with you?
Yeah, huffing and puffing, and he put the car in reverse and said, "Get in the fucking car. Let's go. Come on, we gotta go." I don't remember if he swore or not, but it was just like, "This is, oh my God, this is
something.
this is
sight to see."
I have no idea what the fight was over or what happened, but it was like, "Oh my God, this is a lot."
Yeah.
But then again, but that was like the first time, and there wasn't a lot.
How old were you?
I'd say probably 10.
10?
I feel like 10, maybe 12. I don't know.
That's a pretty good run.
Right. And not to say like, my parents, having tiffs or whatever, but not
like record scratch fights is what we call them.
Pull the fucking car over.
Yeah.
I am done. Yeah. I'm walking back home 5 miles.
Right.
No, that was not a regular occurrence.
Which is good. I mean, but also it's probably good that you experience it. Because again, like if you never experience it,
right?
If you always experience this like rosy Pleasantville type of world,
we can't fight in front of the kids.
Yeah, like you don't understand that. Like, well, sometimes this shit happens.
Like, no, like, and so Christina and I, we do fight. We like have arguments, and not like to the point where it's like abusive or anything like that.
Right.
But we do, and we have arguments, and we try to, and we don't, drag. What do you think about this? We don't do that with our kids or anything like that because that's bullshit.
Well, I think it's overall a positive, though. I really do think, like to learn how to process that emotion first off.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in my relationship, like when having been privy to so many arguments and fights and knockdown, drag out, like shit going on, come from a broken family and everything like that. Like there are a lot of shit going on.
I prefer the term broken home.
Broken home. Cool. Awesome. Broken home. That's what I come from. But you almost have like a black belt in argument before you get into any relationship.
Sure.
And that was before like even like before my first girlfriend. I remember like I've experienced so many different arguments, knockdown, drag out fights, like the will they, won't they romantic teen comedy shit doesn't really hold up. I mean, there's some elements of it that actually, obviously
she likes drama.
Yeah, I mean, people gravitate towards that. No, not in a relationship. No.
Yeah.
No, but being used to drama or like being like kind of like to read the emotions of the situation. Like I guess when you go into a relationship like in high school, like is kind of what I'm going at here. Like did she talk to somebody else or like did they do something else while we're dating and everything like that? Like all that from my perspective was blown open. I mean, like my mom like told me everything she did with everybody she was with outside of my dad.
Whoa.
And it was like
that's weird. I mean,
it's very weird. It's very weird. And so I had this like thing going into dating. I was like, well, as long as we don't get married and have 2 kids, and then you start fucking around on me, like, I guess we're cool, like, kind of thing.
That's a very low bar.
It's a very low bar. It's a very low bar. But it also is a very high bar for all high school relationships where you're like,
sure,
just let's not have all of our finances tied up together and have 2 kids that we're responsible for. Shit like that where you're like, you're just not, you don't have that level of commitment to it. And basically being thrown into adult situations at a young age,
And that's the big thing.
Which ties into the mommy and daddy fighting. Like, being okay with people having a or having an argument,
having conflict,
and not feeling like, oh my God, this is hurting me to my core. It's like, no, this is a Tuesday. This is fine.
Yeah,
like,
right.
This is what's happening. And
it's every couple of months for me and my wife. I don't know. I mean, that's just where it's just like, oh, we're just, we are very different people.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, we are.
And that's not wrong.
And honestly, I think we complement each other very well.
Okay.
Between me.
To each their own.
between me and.
Joke. It's just a joke. I'm just joking.
Outgoing narcissist, and she is not. And, I think we do complement each other well. I mean, it's weird.
But I don't think the exposure to your children of seeing mommy and daddy fighting is a bad thing.
Right.
I really do think it makes you a stronger person. I think seeing that conflict allows you to, I don't know how to overanalyze it in the moment, but I think it allows you to process certain things that are not that big of a deal.
Sure.
Because they're obviously, I don't know the scope of you guys, what topics you guys are fighting about in front of your children.
Mostly mayonnaise.
Yeah. So obviously we're dealing with heavy subject matter, right? So, but when it comes to, in my situation of my parents and everything, I remember my mom put me on. I remember I went over to her house, and she called my dad, and then put me on the phone to ask about the girl he was fucking around with her on and everything like that, and asked me to ask questions to her about that. Asked me to ask questions to him.
Yeah, that's weird.
About the girl that he was seeing while they were together.
No, that's
and it was like, I'm crying. I'm like, this is mommy and daddy fighting for sure.
Oh, but, that's horrible.
And it was like, in retrospect, I wouldn't have done that if I were you. I wouldn't have put my child on the phone.
You know what? With the hindsight being 2020, I would not put my child through that.
Yeah.
And that's,
but in all, it made me stronger in confrontations in my own relationships to be able to talk about those things, to be able to process those things quicker, to be able to just be able to, be more diplomatic, I guess, in the situation instead of being so visceral, because that's normally what people would be in that situation. I'm going to be just all of my emotions.
It's tough.
In part, and I would imagine in a correlation to just having kids, you have to have some kind of diplomatic understanding with how you're going to argue in front of your children. Oh. You're not going to be so vindictive and visceral.
One would hope. What
was that?
One would hope.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not saying my wife, but I'm saying you would want not to take cheap shots, not to bring somebody.
Do you do that? Do you do that?
Oh, do I say, honey, you are a horrible dirt person?
No. In front of your children.
Right in front of them. No, I don't do that.
Does she do that to you?
No.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I know we're kind of getting a little serious here.
Only in front of you.
No, I know, but we're friends, and it's fine. It's true. It's an astute observation of you as a human being. But, but I'm being serious though. In front of your children, though, how do you argue in front of your children without being vindictive and mean or like creating like those emotional scars, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's difficult, and the trick is, it's a trick, not a tip. It's a trick. It's like a sleight of hand. No, try to like really get to what are you fighting about? Why are you really getting into this? Okay, I want to understand. Please just lay everything out what your problem is, because I want to understand, because
you don't want to waste time fighting about it,
right?
Any more than you need to, right?
Right, because it's not worth it. I mean, I don't like beating around the bush. I mean, quite frankly, I think your conspiracy theories are stupid. So, oh shit! Oh no!
You're lucky our kids aren't here.
No, so like, as far as like fighting in front of children and having a disagreement in front of children,
Never mind. Sorry.
you have to. I mean, you don't want to tear the other person down, right? You don't want to say you're dumb, you're a bad person. I can't believe you are a piece of shit, right? Those are the things that fall into being a problem, right? That's what it's like. I disagree with you on this. Why do I disagree with you on this? Okay. Why do I have a problem with the way you're acting right now? Why do I have a problem with the decision you've made with this? Okay. Let's figure that out. And the entire time we're shouting. You know, I mean, we're shouting. We're both impassioned. We both come from different points of views that are very, that we hold close to ourselves. Why is that? Fuck if I know. Because guess what? I don't know you as a person. I did not grow up as you, so I don't understand everything you're coming from. And quite frankly, I don't know if you understand everything you're coming from, because I sure as shit don't understand why I'm everything I am. So, okay, let's talk this through. Not talk. We can yell a little bit.
Yeah, no,
and that's just that is it.
I think one of those things where your part of our relationship is understanding where the other person's coming from, like in their childhood, leading up to being with you and everything with that, and in their other previous relationships, like all that bleeds into your relationship, and whether the strength of that relationship is based on the honesty that you have with yourself and then with your person that you're with to just communicate that, like, this is what I went through, or this is what I experienced in my life. And then, I know from my upbringing, I have a really bad habit of using anything you say against you all the time. Like I do not have the,
and here's my problem. Here's my problem with that is I don't remember anything.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
Oh no, like
I remember everything. And it gets me into trouble.
You want to like my wife holding grudges, and it's not just her; it's all of her sisters as well. Like they hold grudges. It's just like, I'm gonna hold on to this. You have left a bitter taste in my mouth, and that will last literally decades. Yeah, it's just like I have no idea what's going on, and I don't remember what I said to you 3 days ago. That. And also, here's also me being a narcissist. I'm trying to make a joke. I'm constantly.
It's all context based.
I'm always trying to make a joke. So it's like, I'm trying to make a joke here, and if that hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, but I was trying to make a joke, and it wasn't necessarily for you, but that was for somebody else in the room.
Well, and I understand. Like, I mean, it's a very difficult thing to be in a relationship with anyone for a long period of time. I mean, and any one person you're with forever, you're gonna find the chinks in the armor and everything like that.
Which buttons push? Yeah.
No offense meant.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just simply meant about the structural integrity of armor. Okay. Anyway, you're gonna find things, or you're gonna experience things where you basically are privy to information that no one else is privy to.
Right.
Like, I'm going to assume you know your wife better than most people in her life knows her, right?
Yeah. She's got a thing with cloves.
So the same, not the same thing with my wife, but I know my wife better than most people in her life know her.
Oh.
And
She didn't like cloves?
I mean, I don't think she has any problem with them, but you get
I'm going to talk to her about this.
Okay. We can get to know her better. How about that? But you get to know people and you get to experience
Spice cloves.
And then when you're arguing with them,
Yeah.
when you're in
Yeah.
that moment of heated rage, you know so much more about that person.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to point this question towards you as a father in
Sure.
front of your kids, where you know more about your wife than your children do.
Oh, absolutely.
And how not vindictive that's too extreme of a word.
Yeah.
But like how aggressive do you get in front of your children with I mean, in an argument, are you trying to hurt? Or in the argument, or like
No.
what's your point in the argument, basically?
Yeah, I try to stay on task.
You try to find the point.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I've gravitated towards that. Like, because initially in my life, I was like, I will fucking hurt you. Like, that's if you want to get in an argument,
Yeah.
like I will cut you to the bone. Like that's how I'm gonna.
But that's not good for anything. That's
It's
not.
not. It's not. No, but it's very effective in the moment.
Yeah.
And
it'll shut shit down.
Oh yeah, like if I want to see you cry, sure, yep. I will do this.
Oh, is that what you do? Is that what you like?
Did yeah.
Oh.
Used to yeah.
Don't make me cry, Bobby.
Yeah. Oh, I can make you cry. No, but that's things. But that's a learned trait though from arguments and everything with that. But a lot of experience. I've had a lot of argumentative experiences in my life.
Listen,
Where you're like, oh no, that's is this what we're doing right now? Are we doing this right
We're
now?
doing this?
Okay, cool. If we're doing this right now, hold on. Here it is, and go.
And
fuck
here's
go,
my large dump sack of
you go fuck yourself.
everything.
Yeah, I will hurt you to the bone if you want to do like a battle roast of you say something, I say something, you say something, I say something. I will do that all day long, and I'm pretty sure I'll be the victor.
Right.
I don't like to do it, but I will totally drop the mic and do that. Yeah, absolutely. But in the context, the context of having kids, or in the context of even just having a successful relationship,
that's horrible.
You don't want to.
No,
right?
I don't want to break you down emotionally.
No,
that should be like the last thing anybody should ever do. Ever.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't think anybody should ever break down anybody like emotionally. I think that's.
But in the context of an argument, in the context of an argument with the person you're the closest with.
Do I?
I don't want to break you down emotionally. Yeah. Okay,
right.
And I'm saying you, but
sure.
But I'm saying I don't want to do that. But the heights of an argument, get to that point where you're like, we all do stupid things for stupid reasons.
Yeah, and that's when you should walk away.
Right, but the best laid plans of mice and men,
Yeah, right. I try. I mean,
but some people, again, people that are conditioned from a young age to like, this is how you argue and this is how you break down somebody emotionally.
Right. Like, I would not try. I would not do that in front of my children. I'd try. I
would appreciate it if you did.
I mean, I'm
as someone who was done that in front of.
That's horrible. I mean, there's once again, no good can come of that whatsoever.
I would say that there's some good that can come from it. The only good being that you're okay. You're okay with having that argument. You're okay with having that fight, and then hopefully in this, and again, it's like a parlay in betting. Mm-hmm. It's like it's great when it happens, but it's rarely ever going to fucking happen. So why you don't do it? Don't ever fucking do it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that like when it happens, when you can realize the growth beyond that. And you can process things quicker.
Here's the deal. That's a gamble.
It's an absolute gamble. And it's a stupid gamble. It's a stupid gamble.
Yeah, so that's... I don't believe in stupid gambles.
I preface this whole thing with saying it's like a parlay, which is a stupid gamble.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes the gamble pays off. Most of the time it does not. All right.
Okay.
But I'm saying when you can process that information and have that experience and do that, and then hopefully move past yourself.
If there's a chance to break somebody down to their emotional core and have it turn out to be a good thing,
Yeah.
that's what we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Having somebody break down. That's and move past it. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love pretending to be a psychologist, especially when I've been drinking. Like that's my MO.
uh-huh.
It's bad. And I probably shouldn't.
I think it's one of those things where if you're used to the information, if you're used to the experience, I mean, because it's a thing where I know a lot of millennials have a hard time with confrontation, where they can't.
They do.
If we're gonna
Yeah.
like boil it down, like bring it kind of back actually to what we were initially talking about, where any confrontation is me yelling at the top of my lungs versus you yelling at the top of your lungs.
Yeah, that's bad.
But that's bad, right?
Yeah.
So if we're gonna pull a positive out of being exposed to that at an early age, it's saying at 35, me being exposed to that when I was 11,
8?
12,
Oh,
or whatever age
I don't
it was.
know. I don't know how old you are.
I know you don't care about my life. It's fine.
It's okay.
But me being exposed to that has produced an experience where I'm able to process those negative emotions and say, okay, I've been in this fight a lot in my life.
Yeah.
I've been in this fight. I don't.
Yeah.
Then it's like playing a video game. If I'm going to make an analogy, how about that?
I think
It's
that's
like-
a good analogy.
So
it's like dreams.
Sure.
I mean,
not the Fleetwood Mac song.
You are familiar with negative emotions.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. Have we talked about dreams that much on podcasts? Is that a thing?
I mean, we did it on this one.
We did?
Let me finish my
Okay,
video
go
game
ahead,
analogy,
go ahead.
and then we can tie it up with a bow. So
Okay.
but it's like playing a video game, and if
Yeah.
I keep doing the same thing in the video game and I keep getting a negative result, why would I keep doing that thing? So I'm going to change my approach to it. And
Sure.
if I get a positive reaction or a positive result from that video game, then that's probably the way that I'm going to process my experience and process my emotions to create a better life, for myself and the people around me. I mean,
Are you trying to say that, cave people, their relationships were incredibly negative?
like Neanderthal gay people?
Yeah. Emotionally.
Probably, yeah. That's a safer bet. Sorry to offend any Neanderthals out there.
So the idea of one theory of dreams, right? So there is no conclusive hard evidence because it's impossible right now.
It's like interviewing cats and dogs.
Right. What are dreams? Why do we dream? It's weird that our subconscious plays weird little movies in our head when we decide to power down for a little bit. It's weird. And there's no clear understanding why we do it. One theory of why we dream is to prepare ourselves emotionally. A majority of our dreams that we have are negative. We have negative dreams
Based out of fear and worry.
3 out of 4 times. 3/4 of our dreams are.
Is that a Reuters article that you're reading, or
Right now, right in front of me? No.
no? I'm fucking with you.
But we have generally more negative dreams than we have positive dreams. We have more.
Well, and I'll clarify that you remember more negative dreams than you do positive dreams.
We have more dreams where we're lost from our parents than we do when we win $1 million and everything's great.
A lot of dreams are based on memory, though, or remembering.
Sure. Anyhow, so the idea is that we dream to feel those emotions, so we're familiar with them. So the first you come across somebody dying, or somebody dying, close to you in your life, we've felt that emotion before. We've felt that emotion, 100 times over, and then it happens, and it's okay then. It's not like, oh, I can't believe this, and I'm going to shut down completely for a week and a half because I cannot deal with the emotional loss of this. So we build up our armor. We build up our familiarity with these negative emotions, so we know we can deal with them in real life. That's a theory of why we dream, because once again, there's no like real concrete like understanding of why we dream.
And I agree. I mean, I do agree with that. It's used to build up a shell.
Yeah,
and it's that doesn't mean it doesn't hold value. It doesn't mean it doesn't. Yeah. It can't be a precursor to things happening. It's kind of like if I take. It's kind of like an analogy of. Like people taking drugs, like especially like psychotropic drugs and everything like that, where
like with a hook for a hand.
I mean, not necessarily a hook for a hand. I mean, if you lose your hand, like it's really gonna be damning. This whole podcast, you be like, this is the thing I'm talking about. But when people take drugs, you can either take drugs and just have a fun time, or you take drugs and you find something. Like when you do it, like especially like mushrooms, ecstasy, acid, anything like that, like. You can find something if you're looking for it. But if you're not looking for it and you just want to have a good time, you can do it. Which is, I really think is an analogy to dreams. Like you can just have dreams and they don't have to mean anything. They don't fucking have to mean anything. And they can come and go as they please. And you can be like, that happened and whatever. But if you want to take time to look at it and analyze it and everything like that, dreams can have meanings that you can put upon your life if you're really doing that analysis day in, day out. It's not foolproof or anything like that, but it's one of those things where when you start looking at it and you start recognizing it, much like conspiracy theories or anything like that, when you start looking at the day to day, when you start looking at the nitty gritty of everything like that, it can really show itself to mean more than its face value. And at the end of the day, it could be a podcast.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Why?
Because I want to do one pitch. I got a pitch.
You got a pitch?
I got a pitch.
Do a pitch.
Okay. Lovers.
What do you mean?
Lovers who are fighting, but they're also high on acid or mushrooms or something. Okay?
Been there. I've been there.
Okay. So knockout, drag out fight where the relationship is ending.
But they're on acid or
because
on what?
But they're on mushrooms. How about that? I don't know.
Okay, boil it down. Okay. Mushrooms. Okay, they're on mushrooms and they want to break up.
And they're having this fight. They're coming to this realization, right?
Is this a TV show?
No. This it's a short film or a movie. I can't tell.
What about a podcast?
No.
Okay.
And then, president gets assassinated right in front of him, like full on conspiracy. And they don't know how to deal with it, because they're emotionally raw with their relationship breaking up.
Man, I don't know how to like.
But
I can only speak to my own personal experience, and I know we're gonna go long. The affiliates are gonna be mad here.
Yeah,
but like my wife and I, we were touring the country and everything like that, and like we were, musicians on the road and everything like that, and we got into a pretty fucking bad car accident where we literally almost died.
I'm aware.
And what you're describing is I would always go with the things that we experienced over the next 6 months after we got in that car accident and everything like that was like we are standing back to back in the same room and we feel like we're alone. Like that was a whole thing where we're the only ones that know what we were going through. We're the only ones. All right.
Right.
I'm like, I would feel like she didn't feel like I knew what I was going, or she didn't feel like she knew what I was going through.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I didn't feel like she knew what she was going through.
Right.
And so it became this thing like, we again like standing together back to back in the same room with like thinking we're alone in this world. And it's a scary thing. But we almost broke up a million times. Like honestly. So to have somebody, I don't know, to have that situation where you're almost breaking up and then like you just want to like get high and do everything like that, or like even just like, go off, like I don't know. It's hard to put into words, basically. Yeah. But it's one of those things when you step back from it and you can see that I don't know. There's more to it than just the experience that you're going through.
Right.
That really puts everything into perspective. That puts like certain things happen and like I don't know. Have you almost died ever before? Have you almost died?
I mean, I got thrown from a car like once. Yeah. But that I wouldn't call it
thrown from a car.
Yeah. That's because I opened the door and my brother was being a dickhead. Gotcha. But I how close have I come to dying? I don't know. Probably 100 times that I don't know about.
Yeah, probably. I mean, right?
Right.
This was the closest to like.
It was bad. You two
legitimately.
It was
should
really
have died probably.
Yes. Yeah.
Like we're talking inches of death. Yeah. You know? And that takes a long time to process.
Right.
And that takes a long time to like. And to the people in our world, like again, so in that situation, we were in Montana. We had to be airlifted to Billings, Montana. Mm-hmm. I had to have surgery on 3 of my 4 extremities. I had 1 functioning arm, and that was about it. And then I had 6 months of rehab, which I was going to be put into a nursing home in Montana, or I had to figure out a way to get back to Iowa.
That's a movie.
Yeah, that's a movie, right? But basically, no one can prepare you for living in your parents' basement for 6 months, trying to rehab from a car accident and slowly learn to walk again, while your dreams are dying in front of you. Like that's not. I mean, that's a movie too.
Wow,
that's a movie, true. But there's no relationship book for that.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So that's where when I look back on our fights that we've had with my wife and everything, it's like, we've gone through some unique fights that like, if we can get through this, then sure, we can get through anything. Yeah, it's fine. But
wow.
Yeah.
That was a weird left turn off of the premise I gave you, but okay.
But at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
I told you.
This could be a podcast.
Fuck off. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at TCPA_podcast. Be sure to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. And Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, if you could tell me about how your parents fought in front of you and just be emotionally raw as possible.
It's a good podcast.
I mean, also we're on YouTube.
Yeah,
as well.
Do that on YouTube.